Hello and welcome back to my channel. Previously, I've ranked the common, uncommon, and legendary items in Risk of Rain 2, so today we are going to continue on with the void items. Void items are some of the most fun and interesting items in the game, and some of them are strong enough to completely carry you in your run, almost more than a legendary item could. Void items are interesting to me since getting one basically forces you to use it and not use its uncorrupted counterpart, so for some of them it really depends on what character you're playing or what build you're going for. A very important reminder before we get into the video. I am not a professional at this game, so these rankings are ranked much more heavily on things like how fun they are and how interesting I find them, rather than their stats. I very much appreciate you all for commenting about my rankings, and constructive criticism is always welcome. However, I need to ask you all to be kind when you comment, because there's no reason to be mean over a video game. Anyways, let's get into the video. Number 14. The worst void item in the game, and everyone's favorite item to laugh at, is the Singularity Band. This item is an interesting item, but that's about it. The items it corrupts, the Kajaro's and Runald's bands, are just not worth trading for the Singularity Band. Don't get me wrong, the ability to hold a bunch of enemies close together is nice, but the value you get out of both of the original bands is not worth losing. Number 13 is the Benthic Bloom. This item is very funny and a very cool idea, but it is entirely based on chance. Yes, there is a chance that your useless stack of 3 fuel cells would get turned into sentient meat hooks, but there's also the chance that your super helpful stack of 10 gasolines gets turned into 10 stacks of Old War stealth kits. Because this super heavy risk of completely ruining your run every new level exists, this item is just not worth taking. Number 12 is the Pluripotent larva. I am disappointed with this item. It is just the Dios, except it could massively screw you over depending on what items you are actively carrying. Yeah, it could give you a new life with some good items, but it could also steal all of your bands and crit and just completely throw off your run. You might be surprised to see both legendary voids so low in this ranking, but I don't think I'm the only one to say that they really feel like lunar items more than voids. Since they are so rare, I feel like they could have been much stronger, but instead, this is what we got. 11th place is given to the newly hatched Zoya. This item is honestly only not last because I find it kinda funny. Other than that, this item corrupts every one of your boss items, and that's insane. You could lose access to things like a charged and molten perforator, shatter spleen, and the halcyon seed by picking these up, and it's just not worth it. Also, the allied void creatures you get can kill you if they jail you after their death, so it's kind of more dangerous even than the happiest mask. Top 10 starts with the Tenta bobble. I honestly like this item a lot, and rooting enemies is a lot more useful than just slowing them. This item can even save you from Mithrix sometimes, and I think that's pretty cool. However, it doesn't do anything more than just root the enemies, and it makes it a bit harder to proc the death mark, so for those reasons I'm giving it top 10 and no more. Number 9 is the Lysate cell. This item is really cool, but it really depends on the character you get it on. For the most part, it can be useful, but on characters like Loader and Rex, it's not that great. One reason this item got a lower rank than the rest was that on Engineer, while it does allow you to have a third turret, it stops there, and my dreams of a turret army are still just that. A dream. Number 8 is the Needle Tick. This item is pretty cool, but because it takes 3 seconds to detonate your stacks of collapse, it gets to be a bit unwieldy. I believe it's stronger than the Tri-Tip Dagger, however, because the Tri-Tip Dagger is a bit more satisfying and consistent, I just don't like this item that much. Overall, I would just prefer to do damage instantly and without having to wait for it, and risk being hit in that time. Number 7 is the Lost Seers lenses. I enjoy this item a lot, and it's fun to use. However, if you pick this up, you lose a lot of your potential damage simply for the chance to instantly kill an enemy. Not being able to kill bosses with this is tough as well, and while you can do it with the Brilliant Behemoth, it's still kind of a reach, and losing all of your crit is just not worth it. 6th place goes to the Void Scent Flame. The name of the game with this item is proccing other things. This item is pretty fun to see chain off of a big group of enemies, and it can help proc things on enemies you might otherwise not be able to. In my personal opinion, I think that it's always better than the Will-o'-the-Wisp, but I get that it might not be. This is the first void item that I think I would always take over its uncorrupted counterpart. Top 5 starts with the Wongus baby. Oh yeah, love the Wongus baby. Woo! Hell yeah, Wongus time. Woo! Woo! Yeah, I like this item a lot. Someone can prove me wrong, but I feel like this item is kind of just the cautious slug, but you don't have to wait for it to activate. I might be missing something, but I love it a lot and will always take it over the Wongus unless I'm playing engineer. Number 4 is the Encrusted key. This item is just cool because it allows you to pretty easily get any of the items above this on the ranking. Because of this, it is objectively better than the Rusted key, and it also gives you a choice between 3 items. There isn't much to say about this other than that, and I just love seeing this in my runs. Third place goes to the Plasma Shrimp, also known as the Shimp. This item is so much fun and does a ton of damage. The only problem is that this item is really loud and sometimes makes the rest of this game hard to hear. I don't even know what it is about this item that I love so much, but because it can proc things and do a bunch of damage on its own, I'm putting it in third place. Second place is the Safer Spaces. This is just the tougher times without the downside of chance. You can work around this item, and one of the cool things about this is that it prioritizes itself over the oddly shaped opal. I like this item because it also stacks really well and can quickly carry the hell out of your run for just being a void common. And in first place, not really a surprise to anyone, is the Polylute. This item is ridiculous. It procs your other items, stacks way too well, and does a ridiculous amount of damage. There isn't much to say about it other than that, really. Like how the Singularity band is comically terrible, this item is comically overpowered, and seeing it in your run basically guarantees that you'll be good for the time being. And that's it. Obviously a shorter episode today, but I think it's still a good one. Did you agree with my rankings? Did you disagree? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider liking and subscribing, as it helps me out a lot. Thank you to our members, Q3W3E3, Valento725, A Brief Gamer, Shadow Cheese, Supreme Fira, Soap, Eggy, Nia, and the_Radiance for supporting the channel like that. If you'd like to support the channel like they did, you absolutely can, but if you don't want to support me with their money, that's also fine. You can also just like, subscribe, join the Discord, or check me out on Twitch. Other than that, I will see you later. Bye-bye.